Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It's 9 o'clock on a Monday, which means it's time for a 5x5. Now, this is where I take 5 subjects related to magic. I spend 5 minutes talking about each subject. When I get to the end of 5 minutes, I move on to the next subject. It's always quick, it's always snappy, and you never know what you're going to get. Now, today, I'm going to be starting off with a live performance. This is a live performance of me out performing, gigging in the real world. You get to see exactly how a trick goes. I do this an awful lot on the 5x5, and it is one of the most popular things that I do on the channel. So we're going to start off with a full live performance. Then I'm going to do the live performance again, but I'm going to have a commentary track over the top. I'm going to be talking about stuff that I think you guys might get a kick out of, stuff that I think it's important to know if you're going to go out there as a professional or a close-up magician, or even someone showing a trick to some mates down the pub. So that's going to be the first 2 segments, but there's an awful lot coming up on this week's 5x5 as well. So stick with me. Here we go.
Because frankly, you're not helping one right now, but that's okay. When you shuffle him, when you finish, can you put them back in the original order? No, I'd be amazed if it went, yeah, no problem. And I can see that you're pretty good with the left cards. Would you like to do the card trick? I wish I could. So, what's your name? Harriet. Nice to meet you, Harriet. I'm Frank. Harriet, the idea here is that you're going to grab a few cards. You're actually going to grab 5 cards. When I say grab, you're just going to touch them. So I'm going to spread through the cards, you're going to touch the card, I'm going to push it forward, another one. We're going to get 5 cards touched before I get to the end. Okay? So one from me at the top, if you just touch one around about that area, that's good. And a second one as I go down, touch the second one. And a third one from about that area. And a fourth one from about that area. And a fifth one from about that area. Are you sure? Yeah. That was very specific. Are you happy with that? Yeah. No, that's fine. So you shuffled. You took 5 cards. Now we're going to alter the order of the cards. You're going to say deal or split. Without looking at the cards, we're going to alter the order. If you say deal, I'm going to deal top card on the table. If you say split, I'll change the positions and then just drop them on the table like that. Okay. So deal or split. And again. And again. Okay. Is that fair? It's fair, right? We'll do it one more time. Deal or split? And again. Okay. Thank you. So the 5 cards that we've got, I'm going to turn them over for the first time. Shuffle pack of cards. You will touch 5 cards. You guys alter the order. We have an ace of clubs. We have a 2 of hearts. We have a jack of spades. We have a 5 of diamonds, and finally we have a 3 of clubs. Could I have known ahead of time what those 5 cards were? Probably not. Think about it. You shuffled. You took 5 cards. There's no way I could. If I told you a month ago, I knew not only what the 5 cards were that you touched the shuffle deck, but I know the order that you would put them in. Would you believe it? You don't believe me, do you? I know nobody ever believes me, which is why you just hold those like that for me, so your hand is in shot, but nothing else is. Which is why I made a prediction on my arm.
Oh my god.
Yes, but I go by the name of Craig. Isn't that the weirdest thing? But the weird thing about that is that's just the warm-up. Now we're going to go for the main event.
So this is at a wedding, and as you can see, I'm sitting down at the table. Now, that's actually something to talk about. A lot of the time, where there's a small group and they're sitting down, rather than standing up, I'll ask if I can sit down with them as well. Kind of makes it more intimate, and that's something that I've always done. Now, notice when the gentleman's shuffling the cards, I'm killing dead time. I've spoken about this on the channel before, but what you don't want to do is just sit there and wait while the cards are being shuffled and you're not doing anything. You should fill everything with entertainment, whether it's just chatting or talking, whatever it may be, or doing something magical. Now here we're going to use the Vernon strip out substitute switch. I can never remember the name of it. The Vernon strip out. And basically the whole idea is they're going to pick 5 cards, and in the action of putting the deck on the table, I'm switching them for the bottom 5 cards of the deck. It's a beautiful move. Now notice I look at them when I do the move. I look at them, and that's a really important point. You know, the best way to actually misdirect somebody is if they're not actually looking, and they're not even looking when you're doing the move. So when you're doing something like that, ask them a direct question. Look at them in the eyes, and the important thing when you're doing a move like that is don't telegraph it. I see a lot of people that perform, and when they're doing a move like that or a move they're nervous about, they'll really just kind of make everything really pressured, and it's kind of obvious that a move is coming up. You want to make things very loose and almost like it's just very natural and there's nothing going on. Now, what we're seeing here is the Paul Curry swindle switch, which in my opinion is an incredible move, which I've used in many different routines and various different projects. I think it's one of the best moves out there. It really gives the impression that the cards are being mixed. And again, one thing that we can learn from this is I've seen magicians in the past, and I've spoken to magicians who say, oh, they don't use this move because it's really obvious. It's really not obvious at all. In fact, exactly the opposite. It's so totally unobvious. It really just flies by everybody. Now, the final point that I want to bring to your attention here is the revelation. Obviously, I've got a tattoo, and I'm not suggesting that you get a tattoo to do the trick, but notice the reaction from people. It's like, oh my God, I can't believe that. And when you think about it, what you just saw there was a simple force and then just a very simple small packet control. And yet using those moves, we created an absolute moment of impossibility. One of the reasons why that happened is because of the permanency of the prediction. It's tattooed onto my skin. Sometimes people say they don't do basic predictions because it's just not powerful enough. It is, but think about how you can make the prediction really powerful. In that case, I'm predicting 5 different cards. There's lots of layers to it. Rather than having somebody think of something and predicting it, I'm having them think of several different things, and they're mixing up the order. Not only have I predicted the 5 cards, I've predicted the order in which they're going to be, and the cards were shuffled at the very beginning, which is obviously just simply palming the cards out at the beginning of the routine. The point is, try to build up the impossibility of the thing that you're predicting, and then how can you make that prediction more permanent? So rather than writing something down on a business card, I'm not suggesting that you go and have a tattoo on your arm, but what else can you do? Can you have a picture which you've printed out of you holding these cards, or something else? Jay Sankey once did a routine where he had an advert put into the newspaper on the day that he was going to make the prediction. What can you do to make that prediction more permanent and more impossible? Because ultimately, at the end of the day, I could literally just write those 5 cards down on a piece of paper. But if I did, it wouldn't be as powerful as it is by having it tattooed on my arm. It's really just something that you need to think about with your own magic. Okay, so I want to review something for you now. This is actually new out. This has only just recently been listed on various different magic dealers. And I genuinely cannot believe that this has actually been brought to market and is marketed as an actual trick that people expect magicians to do. I mean, how far down are we having to dig a hole? How desperate are producers now to bring stuff out that this actually gets released? And I've got Sarah behind the camera. I don't normally have Sarah behind the camera these days, but Sarah's behind the camera, and I haven't told Sarah about this. So I'm going to tell you and Sarah at the same time. Sarah, you're not going to believe this. Do you remember, like, many years ago, you bought me a present for my birthday, and it was that Space Invaders mug.
Oh, yeah.
And then when you poured hot water in, the Space Invaders appear, and up until then it was a black mug. So somebody is actually selling this as an actual trick to magicians. What they have created is a black coffee mug, right? And when you fill it up, it has an 8 of hearts reveal on it, and they're selling this for a small fortune. So it's called Hot Cup.
They're actually marketing it as a magic
trick.
They're
actually marketing this as a magic trick, and I just couldn't believe it. Hot Cup. The magician shows the cards so that the public can choose one card. The card is revealed pouring hot liquid into the black cup. Setup. The cup must be very clean and dry.
Can I just ask, how are you supposed to do this at table to table?
A table hopping gig. Imagine you going up to it in a wedding, like you're just doing a wedding table and saying, "Hi, my name's Craig. I'm the magician. Let me just put my little cup down here. I'm going to show you something. I can't do a coin trick with the cup because it's got to stay clean and dry. To be perfectly honest, so I'm going to put that there. Can you pick a card for me, sir? Any card. Just say stop. Wonderful. What's that? That's the 8 of hearts. That's amazing. What I have over here is a portable hot thermos flask." Full of magic liquid.
Stand back, I don't want to spill this boiling liquid on you.
Watch as I pour it into this cup. And look, was your card the 8 of hearts? I mean, that's...
Yeah, you could just turn up at your parents' house and you could go, "Hey, Mom, can I have a cuppa? I brought my own mug. Oh, by the way, let me just do a quick trick."
I honestly think this is somebody who's like found these or something and just bought a load of them in because you know it's not going to be a particularly quality product when the email address is an @hotmail.com. So it's not even it's a company that's bought this out, but they've got a free email. They've gone for hotmail.com. And I love that at the bottom it's got made in China. The instructions are brilliant. There's no tutorial. Developing, that's what they call the routine. You must force the 5 of hearts in the most...
8 of hearts.
You must force the 8 of hearts in the most comfortable way as possible.
It doesn't even give you a way to do it.
In the most comfortable way. It's got to be comfortable. It can't be an impressive force. It can't be a force that hits hearts. It's got to be comfortable.
In your PJs on the sofa.
Yeah. Why is the magician at this gig dressed in a dressing gown? Well, the instructions said... in the most comfortable way possible.
It could be for magicians that don't.
I love the fact that they've been so specific about the temperature though. You must force the 8 of hearts in the most comfortable way possible and then pour the hot liquid into the cup. The water must be at least 100 degrees of temperature. Ideas. The deck of cards could be inside the cup so the viewer can then open the cards and shuffle them. Then we must find and control the 8 of hearts. The cup could be on the table with a napkin inside. When we decide to reveal the card, we take everything from inside the cup and pour the hot water inside. Remember that the hot water must be at 100 degrees Celsius, else it will not work.
I quite like those kind of mugs as a gift for somebody. You could gift it to somebody and go...
Gift it to a magician.
It's got your favourite card on there.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do with this. This is going up to the kitchen. I'm going to have I might take this to the office. This would be a great mug for me to have at the office at work. But as a magic trick, I mean, seriously, it gets 0% for 2 reasons. One, it's totally impractical. You're not going to carry hot water around with you to a gig. You know, is it the sort of thing that you do around your house when your friends come round? Would you like a cup of coffee? Yeah, I would. Okay, I'll have a cup of coffee as well. By the way, pick a card. Look. Miracle. But here's the thing.
If you did that, your friend would never come back.
No, I don't think they will. And don't you think most people know about these mugs, right? This isn't magic. This is not magic. You pour hot water in. Ryland knows about these. Thea knows about these because they've seen the Space Invaders mug. It's like a really common thing. I mean, genuinely, I feel like I think is this got to the point where this is where we are as a community, that we're just digging the bottom of the barrel this far down. It's terrible. It's 0%. Come up with some original ideas. So I want to give you a sneak peek of an interview that's coming up at the end of this week with the legend that is Ollie Mealing. Now, if you have recently seen my review show special, I did a review show special on Ollie and on his wonderful membership site, and we talked about why everybody should join his membership site and how good it is. Well, I sat down with him and I got a full interview out of him, and he very rarely does interviews, so I was really super excited. And this interview is coming this Saturday. Ollie is genuinely one of the best card magicians in the world. I'm so excited to have him a part of the Netrix. I'm a proud member of his membership site, and this is an amazing interview. So I'm going to give you a sneak peek of this interview. It's going to be coming soon on Saturday, right here on Magic TV, on Talk Magic. But here's a bit of a sneak peek. It's coming soon. How did you get involved in that? Because how did you come to do that? Because obviously you've had this epiphany, you've decided you don't want to carry on going down the route that you're doing in terms of going out and being a gigging magician because it's not allowing you to perform the type of magic that you like. You're trying to work out where that would fit in and how you can actually make that work. And then the next thing we know is you're working with Darren. Like, how did you go from the epiphany to actually putting yourself into that position?
Well, so the reason I met Darren is because for my, I think, 18th or 19th birthday, my partner Gemma bought us tickets to go and watch him live in Torquay. So, you know, massive fanboy, right? So best birthday present ever. And this was months before, so obviously the anticipation. I'm absolutely pumped for this show. So we go and watch the show, and in the interval, this was the time that I was using Twitter. Instagram and these other things didn't exist, so I was tweeting at the time, and I tweeted in the interval, currently watching Brent Braun, amazing show, can't wait for Act 2, right? Something like that. So I sit back down, I've come out of the foyer, I've got back into my seat, I'm waiting for the curtains to open and for Act 2 to begin. And there's about 2 minutes to go, right? And all of a sudden my phone vibrates and I'm like, oh, I need to put my phone on silent. So I take it out and it's the notification is from Darren. He DM'd me on Twitter, right? In the interval. So the odds, basically, this shouldn't have happened, right? This just shouldn't have happened. It was right place, right time. I've since spent many years working on that show, so I know that those intervals are short and there's a lot going on, and he doesn't really have the time to be on his phone, right? So it's very rare that he would even be on his phone, let alone see the tweet, and let alone then have the time to get in touch. So he did get in touch. I opened it up and he said, you know, pleased you're enjoying the show. Do you want to meet up afterwards and say hi? So I'm now losing my mind and thinking, this is a fix, right? I'm somehow part of the show because, you know, obviously you've seen The Heist and various shows where it's a big, you know, everything's happening around someone unbeknownst to them. So I'm starting to kind of lose my mind a bit now, thinking, is this a setup? Am I part of the next Darren Brown special? Yeah, so he just said, you know, come down to the treads, the stairs at the front of the stage at the end of the show, and you know, someone on my team will be there to meet you and bring you back and say hi. So I'm just absolutely mind blown at this point. And so I respond, I say, great, I'll be there. And about 10 seconds after responding, the lights start to dim, Act 2 begins, and out he walks. And I'm just, how does he even have the time to, you know, it didn't really make sense. But anyways, I now watch the rest of the act, slightly distracted because I'm thinking, oh my God, the guy I'm watching is the guy that I'm about to meet, right? I'm going to meet this guy like immediately after the show. So I'm in a very surreal headspace at this moment. The show finishes. The auditorium clears. I go down and wait in the stalls by the treads. And sure enough, a member of his team comes out, says, are you Ollie? I said, yeah. They said, come this way. So I go up the stairs. I'm now on the stage, right? Which I haven't been on a stage in a theatre before. That alone is amazing. And even more amazing when you're going on to the stage where you've just seen an incredible show, right? To then actually be stood in the space where obviously miracles have happened. Incredibly exciting, very, very powerful, memorable experience. And so we walk across the stage. I then get kind of ushered backstage into a dressing room. And about 5 minutes later, Darren knocks on the door, comes in, hi, you Ollie, you know, we chat and we sit down for 10 minutes and we just have a really nice conversation. And despite all the kind of nerves and anxiety that I was experiencing leading into that moment, something, an incredible quality that Darren has is that he immediately puts you at ease. So once he came in, all of those nerves and things just dissipated, and I really just felt I was hanging out with a friend, right? Incredibly, sort of bizarrely enough, it was just very normal, right? Everything was just kind of calm. And yeah, we just got on really well. And he said, you know, where are you? What are you up to now? And me and my partner had a B&B. So I said, well, we're going to go back. And he said, oh, well, if you're in the area, come back to the hotel with us and we can hang out some more. So we ended up going back to the hotel and having some drinks, and I performed a load of magic, and we just sort of became friends, I suppose, and kept in touch from there on. And I was living in Bristol at the time. Funnily enough, just around the corner from where it turned out he used to live. And I had a residency at the time in a place that he used to have a residency in. So there was these weird kind of overlapping things happening. And
right, I want to do another review right now of a book that came out maybe 2 years ago, and I think it's fallen under people's radars, and it's a real shame that it's done that, because this is an amazing book. It's Brent Braun, who's one of my favourite magicians, and this is Plots, Ploys and Other Cons. And this is a really interesting concept for a book, and I think the best way for me to go through this is to read the introduction. And this is the introduction from Brent Braun. I'm going to read you one paragraph in particular. I didn't want to write a book that taught you where to put your fingers or how to hold a card. I didn't want to write a book that explained to you what to do and when to do it. I didn't want to write a book that expanded your performing repertoire. I wanted a book that wasn't full of tricks, but instead was full of ideas. Some good, some bad, some crazy, but all having value in some way. And I've never seen a magic book like this before. It's incredible. Like, it really is. Some of the stuff is just bonkers. Some of the stuff is just bonkers. But there's some really amazing ideas in here. And I love books that really kind of fill you with ideas and really spark creativity. And that's what this book does. It really sparks your creativity. Brent Braun is an incredible performer and creator at the best of times. And the stuff that he's put in here, I know he says it's full of crazy ideas, some good, some bad. I think all these ideas are absolutely awesome. He's got ideas for close-up magicians. He's got ideas for card magicians. He's got ideas for really loads of stuff. There's a couple of things I want to draw to your attention if you've got the book that you might have missed. The first is PPP, which is the paper prediction principle. The paper prediction principle allows you to predict everything that happens in your show accurately and impossibly, with no sealed envelopes, complicated devices, difficult switches, assistants, nail writers, stooges, double writing, dual reality, electronics, impression devices, or pre-show work. You can predict names, outfits, hair color of randomly selected spectators. You can predict random events and actions. You can predict their freely selected items. You can predict anything that happens during the entire show. If that sounds too good to be true, it's not. It's an incredible principle that really kind of blew me away. And I think that there's a lot of people that if they plug this into their show, this is a magician fooler. It really is. I also love the fact that in this book, the other thing that Brent's done is he's filled it full of quotes from himself. And some of these quotes are just hilarious. Some of them are really kind of hit home and they hit hard. Some of them are just hilarious. I've just got a quote here at random. Not being afraid to wear your underwear on the outside does not make you a superhero, although it does bring you one step closer. So there you go. Very important to know. And then there's just really random stuff. And it is really random. And I don't know if he's done this on purpose, but it's just like really funny. So there's something that I saw that I was like, oh my God, that's a really good idea. Party popper roulette, right? So you know what those party poppers are, where you pull it and it makes little streamers go everywhere. Party popper roulette. And all it says in there in the party popper roulette is, due to concerns for your safety, the writer has removed this content from the book. Sarah's just giving me a look right now as if to say, are you serious? Yeah, I'm deadly serious. And I think he's done that on purpose. But just the idea of a party popper roulette is genius. I've never thought of that before. And I love the idea that that's another example of how it's sparking people's creativity. I can't stop thinking right now about how to do a Russian roulette with party poppers. And I wouldn't have thought of it if it wasn't for Brent Braun putting stuff in there like that. So, I mean, there's tons of things. Yeah, I could literally go through here for hours and hours and hours. And there's stuff for casual performers, so it's not all stuff for stage performances. Although there's ideas for stage performances, there's ideas for strolling magicians and close-up magicians. But then there's really random stuff that you could use just when you're out and about at a pub or having a coffee with friends, like creamer through table. He's got this incredible idea where you take a coffee creamer and push it through a table, and it's incredibly deceptive. This is a fun book, and ultimately, that's why we read books, right? That's why we do magic. It's a hobby. It's fun. I do magic because I love doing it. Yeah, I get paid for it as well, but I love doing it, and this book is super fun, super interesting, super engaging. It flew under a few people's radars, and it shouldn't have done that. I'd pick up a copy if you could. I give it 100%. It's brilliant. It's by the genius that is Brent Braun. Okay, guys, that's another 5x5 in the bag. Thank you once again for joining me right here on Magic TV. I really appreciate it. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I would love to know your thoughts. You want to see more videos like this? Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget you can go and join the Netrix right now by going to www.thenetrix.com. Next Monday, we are going to be uploading another 5 routines to the platform. So make sure that you go and check that out. Outside of that, I will see you again soon. Thanks very much for watching. Have a great day. My name's Craig from Magic TV.